Hi, I'm Heather from Car Seat Site. Today we're going to be installing the Britax Marathon ClickTight car seat, and it is their convertible car seat. It's the same basic car seat as the Boulevard ClickTight and the Advocate ClickTight. So if you have either of those car seats, this video is for you as well. It's the same ClickTight installation panel that we have, so no matter which car seat you have, the Marathon, Boulevard, or Advocate, you can use this video for installing your car seat as well. I'm installing it in my Tesla Model X, and your car seat will install in your vehicle pretty much the same way, so just follow along the guidelines that I offer you today and you should have a similar experience in your car too. This car seat is different than the Britax One for Life all-in-one car seat. That has a different ClickTight panel. I will link you to that video, so stay tuned for that video if you have that car seat, because it's a different system for installation, just slightly. Same basic concepts, but slightly different panel. So we're going to install this car seat and have some fun with it. This car seat rear faces from 5 pounds to 40 pounds and forward faces from 20 pounds to 65 pounds. That's what makes it a convertible seat. It rear faces and it forward faces. And so let's get started with the installation. I have it forward facing right now, but we're going to install it rear facing. So I'm going to turn it around. It's upright, and I want to show you how to recline the seat first of all. We want to put it in a recline mode. I'm going to start with a full recline because in all of my videos I start with a recline for a newborn, and that's just the way it is that I do for my videos. But you can, if you're installing it for an older child, you can install it more upright, and I will show you how to do that. The recline handle is on the front of the seat. So we turn it around, and right here you lift the harness adjuster strap, which is what this strap is, and the recline handle is right here. It's this red pull handle. On these ClickTight seats, it may be a little bit difficult to recline the seat in your car just because the handle's a little sticky, so you may want to lift it out of the car and put it down on the ground to do it. I'll do it here in the car so you can see how it works. But you just need to grab and put some muscle into it. If you don't feel it grab, you'll feel it grab. So just pull on it and then you can recline it all the way. It has multiple recline levels, so you can put it, just make sure it's locked into place like this. And just lift up on the head area and just lock it into place like that. So I'm gonna go full recline and turn it all the way around in my car. There we go. All right, and we can see now, we look at the recline angle indicator right here. The recline angle indicator, in what we're looking for right now, is for the rear facing. So rear facing is this blue area up on the top of the recline angle indicator. This green right here is for forward facing, so we'll address that in a different video. But right here is the blue. And there is an infant right here, and that is where, say if I lift it up just a little bit right there, that's more of a newborn angle. So if I want to put a newborn in here, I may want to stick a pool noodle under there. So let me grab a pool noodle and show you how we get a little bit more of a recline right there for a newborn. So right now our recline is closer to the darker blue than it is to the more reclined we want it to be for a newborn. So I have two different types of noodles here. I've got a fatter noodle and I've got a skinnier noodle. So if I stick the skinnier noodle under there, just shove it in here. It doesn't really do anything. There's an open space on the bottom of the base of the ClickTight seats, and so that noodle kind of gets sucked up under there. And so that skinnier noodle doesn't really do anything. If I had a pyramid of those noodles, maybe 3 of them, 2 really aren't going to do anything because they're both going to sit next to each other under there if we tape them together, and they're going to sit under there and just kind of stay flat and not really do anything. So if I had a pyramid of 3 of them, then something would happen. But as far as this particular size noodle, this is the one you're going to see at dollar stores, or these are the cheap ones. These are the real skinny ones. But this one is a fatter one, so let's see how this affects the angle. And just stick it under there. Might have to pick up the seat a bit and get my buckle out of the way. And so now we see that it still gets sucked up under there, but because it's bigger, it supplies more of an angle adjustment. So now we see it more towards that ball goes more towards the back of the recline angle, and so we get more of a newborn recline for this particular seat. So that's better. I also brought a tightly rolled towel that I use when I teach child passenger safety technicians in classes to show them that you can roll up towels, and I tape mine because these towels, when you roll them tightly, if you don't tape them when you use them under a seat like this, they tend to smoosh down and then go flat. So they end up in a rectangular shape instead of a round shape, which is what you want, because when you're filling a space like that, you don't want it to go flat, you want it to keep its shape. Now, this one was more of a body-sized towel rather than a hand towel size. So you can see that it takes us way out of our range and into the red zone, which is what we don't want. But you can see that that's a really huge towel and an exaggeration. Some seats need that, but not in this particular car. So I'll take that out. But that's an example of a tightly rolled towel that when you tape it, it will maintain its shape. So I'm going to toss those aside and use this big noodle to get our recline angle. And you can do this with convertible seats, because what we're going for is, again, in this particular case, a newborn recline. If you want a more upright angle for an older child, then ditch the noodle and put it more upright using your recline handle. That's a-okay for a convertible seat. With rear-facing only infant seats, that's a different situation, because you're dealing with younger children. But older kids and convertible seats, they don't want to be reclined so much. They want to be upright looking out. So different story. Okay, so we've got our recline angle figured out right here. And what we want to do next is actually get around to installing the seat. So we have to open our ClickTight panel. So to do that, I'm going to take our harness adjuster strap and put it to the side. If you are installing it in a car where the back of your vehicle seat right here and your car seat butt up against each other really closely together, make sure that this doesn't fall down in there and get lost, because you'll end up uninstalling your car seat just to get this back. You don't want to lose this, because this is your harness adjuster and you don't want to lose that. So open up your ClickTight panel by pressing on the round disc. There's a dimple at the top of it where you're supposed to put your finger. So press on that and then turn that disc clockwise. And then lift your panel up. One thing you're going to notice is that maybe your panel doesn't lift up all the way very easily. One way that we can get that panel to lift up higher, and on my Marathon it's a little bit different than on the Boulevard or the Advocate, because on the Boulevard and the Advocate, the head wings tend to get in the way. The Marathon doesn't have such extensive head wings. It's more of soft cushioning on the sides. So close that CT panel, and we want to loosen the harness. So what you want to do is loosen the harness by pressing into that spot just above where that ClickTight panel opener is, and that's where your harness adjuster is. So you just press on that button inside there, and I can't use my thumb because it's inset so deeply, so you might have to use a longer finger. Press in there and then pull on your harness. Maybe use the chest clip to pull. Pull that loose, get your harness loose, and then lift your harness up. And to do all that, let me show you again. Move that upright. Pull the strap to tighten. To loosen the harness, you press inside here, and that pulls the harness loose. Just like this. And then you can pull your head wings up, and that will give us much better access to the ClickTight panel. Okay, let's get that on the seat. Make sure we're reclined. There we go. All right. We want to install the ClickTight convertibles with the seatbelt. Britax designed them to be installed with the seatbelt, not with latch. In fact, the latch connectors are on the back of the seat in a compartment that's kind of hard to find, so that's their hint to you that they want you to use the seatbelt. So I'm going to show you the seatbelt method. First, we have to find the belt path. The belt paths are where the seatbelt goes through, or the latch belt if you have to use latch. But the seatbelt is going to go through either the rear-facing belt path or the forward-facing belt path. The forward-facing belt path is labeled in green and sits behind the child's back. And since we're not doing a forward-facing belt path, we're going to ignore that for now. We're using the rear-facing belt path, which is labeled in blue, and even inside in the guts of the seat, you have everything labeled in green or blue. So we'll follow the blue arrows on the inside of the seat. So we're going to take our seat belt and we're going to pull it out just a little bit. We don't want to pull the seat belt out all the way. Now, the ClickTight panel is a true lock-off. So what does that mean? It means it's going to lock your seat belt for you. I don't want to pull my seat belt out all the way and have the retractor lock automatically for me, because that ClickTight panel is going to do that. If you don't really understand what locking seat belts means and what am I talking about with a retractor, I have a video on that, so I'll link to it. So take that seat belt out and pull it out just long enough, about that length, for you to be able to work with it. So what we want to do is do that. We want to be able to put both the lap and shoulder belt and have it look like that. And then slide it into that little crevice, just like that. It's a little slit. And you've already got your seatbelt into the belt path. How easy was that? So now we just take it over to the other side. Again, just pull out just enough to be able to do this. And I have short seat belts, so trust me, you're going to be able to do this. And again, hold your seatbelt tight, just like this, and do it for the other side as well. And it just slips right in. And then you're going to buckle your seatbelt. Okay, seatbelt buckled, shoulder belt is still loose, it's not locked. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take the slack out of the seatbelt. We don't want to make the seatbelt tight, like super tight, because if it's super tight, we're not going to be able to close the ClickTight panel. It's just physically not going to be able to close. But we do want to make it tight. And you'll see here that my seatbelt is just sitting here on this curve, this bend here in the belt path. Nothing I can do about it. It's just going to look like that. So no worries. Just make sure that the rest of the belt in the belt path, there are no twists or anything like that. You just want it as flat as possible. So I'm just pulling the slack out. And the tighter you get the seatbelt, of course, the tighter the installation is going to be. So, and then just push your ClickTight panel down. And it may take, some oomph. The tighter it is, the more oomph it's going to take. So there you go. And you'll notice that the tighter we got it, the more upright the seat became. And so now we're not really at a newborn recline. So we would need to adjust that pool noodle, or maybe add more pool noodles, or perhaps maybe a rolled towel that's bigger would work better. So let's check the tightness. So to check the tightness, and again, you can see how my seatbelt kind of slid down, and it's really quite tight now. To check the tightness, we want to grab at the belt path. And it's smooth right here, but right under here is a little lip that you can grab onto. I'm right-handed, so I'm going to use my left hand, which is my non-dominant hand, and I'm going to grab that lip and tug. And you can see my car is moving. And so, that's super tight. So again, we want it to move less than an inch, but with that ClickTight panel, it just really makes it one with the vehicle seat, which is great for crash safety and energy management. All right, so get my harness adjuster strap out there. One other thing I wanted to show you is that even though it's super tight here, it's going to move a lot right here. So you can see I can move it side to side up here by the head. That's what happens with rear-facing car seats. So no worries there. What we're worried about is the snugness right down here at the belt path. The reason it moves so much right here is because there's nothing holding it down right here. There's nothing securing it to the seat right here. That's normal. Rear-facing car seats don't have anything right here holding it down to the vehicle. It's only right here where we have the seat belt. So that's normal movement. So a good installation means that we can twist it around and move it around, but we can come back, fix it, make sure it's nice and straight, the angle is what we put it at, and it's still nice and tight. All right, so we have a nice, good installation. That is how you install a rear-facing ClickTight convertible Marathon-Boulevard-Advocate convertible car seat. Now, how do we uninstall a ClickTight convertible? To uninstall, you have to do it in the right steps because there's a lot of pressure on this ClickTight panel right now. So what we first have to do is unbuckle it. If we try and open the ClickTight panel using this ClickTight dimple, the round circle, what's going to happen is it's going to get stuck. It's tight. There's too much pressure. So what we want to do is we want to unbuckle the car seat. That pressure's been relieved, and so now we can open the ClickTight panel and pull the seatbelt up. Now you can close the ClickTight panel. One thing I also want to talk about is harness placement in a ClickTight convertible, or any rear-facing convertible, really. I'm going to make this a little upright so you can see the harness. On a rear-facing convertible, the harness should be at or below the shoulders. Because in a car seat, in a rear-facing car seat, in a crash, the child's going to slide up the car seat. And so having that harness at or below the shoulders keeps that child down in the car seat. So adjust your harness so that the harness rounds over the child's shoulders so that they can't move up in the car seat at all. So make sure the harness is snug, that you can't pinch any harness above the chest clip. If you can pinch, it's too loose. Give that harness a tug until the harness pulls flat, and you're good to go. Thank you for watching my video. Please stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, and we have more installation videos and more car seat topics.